Love and light to the family. This is your brother Red Pill representing Know the Ledge, representing the Paradigm Shifters. I am here with my good brother 19 Keys, one of the shifters. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Peace and blessings, family. Assalamu alaikum. 19 keys of unlocking your mind and changing those rusty locks into keys, so we have a world of keys. You know, that comes from Master Farrakhan Muhammad when he spoke about the 17 million original people and the 2 million Indians. So it means that there was 19 million rusty locks lost in the dark. So now we're here to enlighten them with the knowledge, which is the key.
Indeed, indeed. Well, we just had a monumental event take place on Saturday at the Union Temple Baptist Church. Before we actually talk about the event that took place, I want you to briefly just speak about the Union Temple Baptist Church and what you experienced and what that meant to you.
You know, I'm not one who grew up in a church at all.
You
know, the last time I remember being at a church is because they hired the Muslims to secure it in East Oakland because the gangsters in that area were bothering them.
All right.
And I remember going into that church and the pastor was speaking in tongues. He just got out of jail. He was Crip or something like that. He was speaking in tongues. Like, hubba, hubba. I'm like, wow. And the people, they was going for it. The gamble was working. Yeah. And then another preacher that we knew that worked there, he was a hustler as well. Like, we knew him in real life, and we was like, yo, I know what you do in real life. And then you get up into these people, and it was just interesting. And so, you know, before that, I was already turned off from church.
Okay.
But this place today, or yesterday, the other day, this temple, I think it exemplified the characteristics of what our people want to see in a church, but it's not actually defined in reality.
They've been promised that.
Right. So when we observe it from the outside, we still see the mumbling preacher, you know, but in their mind, this is their type of temple they're going to.
Yeah.
And so when we walked in there and you got the pictures of Marcus Garvey, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Minister Louis Farrakhan, Harriet Tubman, Carter G. Woodson. I mean, there's Frederick Douglass. There's so many different people on the wall. And you know that all these people are not aligned with the ideology of the church, of the white patriarchal intellect version of the church as well. But when we create our monuments, our places to worship and to deify the presence of spirituality and the alignment within balance of self, we have to put the ancestors behind us, because if the ancestors are not the one who validate the church, then there's not a government in the world who can make that place holy.
That's right.
So the fact that they had the ancestors there, that was paradigm shifting, and they've been doing that for a while, but I've never seen the inside background of that church. But when I walked in there, let me say temple, I walked in there and I was happy we was having it there.
I definitely was.
This is perfect. Right behind me it was Malcolm X, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and Mr. Louis Farrakhan. They had their crowns, I had mine. And it felt like history and time aligned in the moment and in the present. So I think that church was amazing. Us setting the stage and the energy right before Farrakhan spoke the next day.
Right.
Even though that his presence and his bringing into that place should have been better. The time he had to speak should have been more. But the message was so potent because every time he speaks, he delivers 1,000 lessons.
That's right.
And real-time lessons in the moment about patience, about not having to speak but saying so much, and about how to decode the meaning in real-time reality of what's going on, how this is affecting the future. But most importantly, I think that I listened to what Dr. Wesley was saying a little bit earlier that day, and he was talking about how Farrakhan told him, you know, you always win the argument, but sometimes you lose the people, or you lose the soul or the heart or something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing. And when I listened to his message, I heard a man going directly for the heart of the people, all the people.
That's right.
And the inclusion in his message was an example of how you reach the heart of the people, if that's what you truly believe as far as loving your people. Because I think that all leadership everyone, regardless of who you are, you have to examine the reason you're doing what you're doing.
Yes.
And if it ain't for the heart of the people, the love of the people, the graduation of the people, then you have to understand whether you're winning the battle or you're winning a war.
That's right.
And a lot of people will win the battle
And
lose the war, and the war is for our people.
That's right.
So when
that's more important than the battle.
it's the only importance.
End game.
Yeah, because Farrakhan is going straight for the war.
You're going for the end game.
He don't go for no battle. The battle.
Yeah.
What they cut the man off on TV for almost 10 years.
That's right.
That's a battle. That ain't they got nothing to do with it. It's okay. Internet comes. Who's the internet for? Internet for me.
That's right.
Guess who about to use his internet? Oh, Ben just came and used that internet. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You have to be patient enough to know when it's your time to speak.
That's right.
So that you can get and deliver to the heart of people, and not so that you can win the battle, but so that we can win the war of creating and constructing the hereafter, which is the vision for our future. And so the layers upon wisdom in this weekend, I think I'll be reflecting on for the rest of my life.
That's right. I feel the same way, brother. To unpack what I experienced this weekend, like, remember, I'm in the moment right now. It's still somewhat surreal because I'm still downloading. You know what I mean? Like, this was very heavy. The level of information, the experience. Like I spoke earlier, I'm enveloped in love. You know what I mean? I got to. It was therapeutic. So I'm in the process of healing right now. Talk briefly about what the paradigm shifters represent, what they mean, and why Saturday was so important, brother.
You know, I go back to that mural on the wall.
That's right.
Because they're able to be imagined in the same place at the same time, even though they never coexisted at the same time.
That's right.
Their messages sometimes were parallel to each other, sometimes were in friction, sometimes were in flow, sometimes were in contrast.
That's right.
We represent the imagining of them in real time. And I believe that we all look at that wall and we say we got a little further to go to edify and completely believe that we are, I want to say, because I want to give the respect that they deserve as giants.
That's right.
And at the same time, I believe that we have the humility to know that they have laid down foundations and footsteps that we have yet to grow into. But we're growing into them together instead of alone.
That's right.
And we went to the African American Museum and we got to see on the wall some of the past organizations that were able to come together and work together. And so we're not under the illusion that black people haven't been working together throughout time in history. But what we want to tell you now is that this is our time. That's the difference.
That's right.
The difference is this is our time. So regardless of who's done it before or after, it always has to be needed in the now.
That's right.
And we present the solution in the now, in the real time, because we often get caught in the reflection of the past. And when you do that, your consciousness spends time in the past, meaning that it also needs to spend time in the present in order to own it. But if you're spending all of your energy in the past, then you can't own the present. And so although we know and we understand the past reflection, but we won't mirror it in the present, meaning that we take that so we can go further, not so that we can rotate like a hamster on the wheel of knowledge that we have. We saying thank you for this, your pattern of thinking, the way that you move. Now let me be scientific and go ahead and concoct a whole new result of reality based on what you wanted to see happen. We want to see your vision come into fruition through us. And so we can be the lineage of your success. And so no one can say you failed if we provide the tools and the solutions and we actually implement what was being sought after through all of the works and energies of our ancestors. And so this weekend as paradigm shifters, what we do is we reprogram, we update your program so we can change your paradigm. And what we represent is an elimination of the egoistic sense of division, an elimination of the ideology division. And the reason we do that because of the importance of the solution is this graduate, this huge. This is what we want to happen. It's huge. And here's our ideas. They're small, they're specks. Here's our faith. They're small, they're specks. But the idea of our unity, that's globalized, that's planetary. But our individual perception of consciousness and our individual perception of order and balance, that pales in comparison to what needs to be done and what would happen if we got civilized enough to be on the same unifying accord. Do you think our ancestors care if one person understands what they did? Or do they care if all people are in alignment to where we are further progressing as a civilization, whether it's through culture, technology, food, clothing, shelter, language, time, whatever it may be, we need advancement. And I'm a futurist. I love thinking about the present. The present is the future. But the way you plan in the present creates a double layer to where there's another point in time you're always creating. And we are creating another point in time already existing because we are exerting our consciousness, deleting old paradigms that will eliminate the blockades that have been set in front of us when we try to run into a new way. We tried 1919, we tried to run into a new way, not understanding the devil that was going to be the blockade and resistance. You understand? The many organizations and groups that we've had, they've all ran into blockades of resistance, either from not knowing the enemy or not completely knowing our own people and how to get them to back what we're doing so it has longevity forever. And so the paradigm shifters is not all. Now, technically, we are Muslims just because Muslim means one who submit his or her will to do the will of God. But by how one would perceive themselves based on the connotation of language and objectifying themselves and referring to themselves as Muslim in faith of Islam, we are all not Muslims in that sense. But the work that we're doing is that work of a Muslim. But you have one bro who may be metaphysical sciences, spirituality, like whatever, a Catholic, not Catholic, ain't no Catholics in the group, but it's some Christians, and everybody believes in God. I think that's one order of the day. There's no atheists in the group, but I don't think that we have anything that separates us, even though we all live differently, even though that we are all in our genuineness of what we believe. Yeah. So me and my brother Red Pill, I'm not sure because we don't really look for our differences. Yes. We find the bridge that connects us, but I'm sure there's some parallel, some existence to where, no, this is my way of seeing this, this is my way of seeing this. And I say, okay, because you got your eyes, I got my eyes. My third eye don't see what your third eye see. I don't even know if you see color the same as me. So how can I argue about something as complex about your ideas towards life and consciousness when I can't even see through the lens of your eyes to know you even see the most basic things, which is what we create as color. So when I think about reality, I say it don't matter what color he sees this room as long as we know this is a place we're supposed to be building in. And so that's the biggest thing, is that we don't care what lane you take to get to the destination as long as we go into the same place.
Couldn't have said it better myself, my good brother. I want to say thank you for laying it down. Let them know where they can find you. Let them know where they could get information about the shifters. Let them know where they could actually become a shifter at. Please.
So you can go on blackondemand.tv if you want to watch any of our events and also extra bonus footage of streaming. You can go to Shifters, the Shifters _ and you can click the link in the bio to sign up to be a shifter, where we will prepare you with tools to change your and your community's future. Real tools that is very valuable, and you will get those tools immediately once you sign up. That's how you take a first step to rocking with us on this journey. You can find me personally 19 underscore keys, Keys. 19 is the smallest number that represents all numbers, and I'm a polymath, which means I learn universal knowledge to solve specific problems. And you know our specific problem is us. So 19 underscore keys, or 19keys.com for crowns. 19 keys on Facebook. 19 keys, you know what it is, man. We tapped in.
3 days.
We have Philly, which is going to be in October. We have Philly, Houston, and LA. I believe Philly will be in a couple of weeks, maybe October. We got to figure it out. Houston is like the weekend of October 14, 15, and LA is towards the end of October. So be on the lookout if you're in those 3 cities when we tapping all the way in.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Love and light to the family. Peace.